I completely forgot that I ordered sushi. I'm so sorry.
Hey, what did I say? Don't touch that again or I'm going to shut this whole thing down. For who? It's not for us.
All right, we should jam sometime. I smashed my face off of an outdoor pull-up bar the other day, and it still hurts.
That's rough.
I've been saving that. I thought it'd be a good opening.
Yeah,
line.
that is good. What the hell happened?
It hurt a lot, man. And like I already have sinus issues, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't make it any better.
Just like caved one of them in.
And there was a point where I was like, maybe I solved my sinus issues, and it didn't. It still hurts. I don't think I broke my nose or anything. I didn't bleed, but it really hurt. And it still hurts today. That was a couple days ago.
Jesus.
And if the homeowner saw it happen, it was definitely hilarious. My like earbuds flew out of my ears. And yeah, I was walking at a good clip with my with my head down. And I just fucking smashed into this thing right on the bridge of my nose, like right at like the T-zone, like where it meets your forehead.
Those are the ones that like, you know, that'll get your hands on your knees real quick.
Oh yeah, it hurt real bad, and I just had to kind of like poker face it and be like, fuck. This hurts so bad.
I don't know the last time that I forget who I was saying it to, but I don't know the last time that I got like hitting the balls real hard or anything like that, but like I'm really bad for pinching my fingers. And like getting really inconvenient cuts on like my hands or like, you know, stupid shit or like hangnails and shit. But yeah, I can't remember the last time I got like smoked in the face or anything like that.
I've luckily like never broke a bone or anything.
Me neither.
I had we had two brothers that like one was my age, the other one was a couple years older, the Lewises, and those guys always were breaking their nose.
No way.
It was always broken. Sean one time in a volleyball game in high school fucking dove for the ball and just face first into the bleachers and fucking busted his nose all up.
Wow.
Oh man, those guys. Also, I got a little throwback. You remember a couple weeks ago I was telling you about my buddy who told his parents he was going to start a vegetable garden and usually just growing
the horticulturalist.
Yeah. So my buddy Eric, you remember Eric called me. We were talking last night, and he was saying that he's been listening to the podcast. He's like, dude, I can't believe you actually like said that. And he's like, but you left out like a very important part of the story, which I totally forgot. Was that he got his mom to plant the seeds for him and was telling her that they were like beans or whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he like handed her the pot seeds and was like, yeah, these are just like peas.
Oh my God, what a genius.
I totally forgot about that part of the story.
Wow, what an absolute genius. That's like covering your tracks.
Yeah, man, so good on. I want to say his name really bad, but I won't say his name. I'll keep it as, although if you know, you know, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll leave it on it if you know, you know kind of basis.
Yeah. Anyway, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody to go watch that waitlist video. Came out. Now, last week I told everybody to listen to it or to go watch it, but it hadn't actually come out yet. We were just sort of retroactively doing it. But the V13 article was like very good. I was very happy with it. The one thing that I found with us, you know, we've had like a few articles written about us, and it seems like for whatever reason, the one thing, you know, because like the deal with these things is, you know, whoever you work with, or even if you're working like directly with the people that, you know, beforehand, they'll be like, all right, like send us your bio and like any information and like send us like, you know, a couple press shots or whatever. And you're like, all right. And more than once I've sent the press shots that I would like them to use. And then they just like go on our Facebook or whatever
and pull something
then pick
off.
A stupid photo and use that one. And it's like, hey man, I sent you the good photo.
Yeah.
Like, why are you deviating and
Oh my God.
and like using these shitty photos? So they didn't do that. V13 didn't do that. They used a good press shot. One of the ones I sent them. They did a really great write-up, and I was very happy with it.
Nice.
So yeah, and thank you everybody that's watched the video so far. The feedback has been good.
I gotta say, like with a lot of those video premieres and stuff, I will always click, like, cause it'll be, you know, V13, alt press, whatever. I never read the write up. I always just go straight to the video. So
yeah, which I mean totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And like in any other I like to see what they said about us.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it as soon as we're done. I honestly just scrolled right past it and watched it. Even though I had seen the first edit of the video, I just went straight for the video and watched it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching it.
Yeah, it's a great video.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Fucking reads the man.
One other plug I'll do. If you're listening to this right now, I would assume that you're listening to it on a streaming platform. Make sure you go over to that follow button and hit follow.
Yeah, man. Subscribe.
You know?
Follow us.
Mm-hmm. Get that fresh content right away.
Thanks for checking it out. Yeah, so we got like a couple things we were going to touch on this week. This episode, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
you can start. The first thing's kind of your thing, so I'll let you take the wheels.
I mean, we were kind of reaching for topical stuff for this one, and I noticed. I mean, I've been seeing it for the past couple weeks. There's a guy named Mark Rebier. He's like an electronic artist. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but I mean, if you saw one of his videos, you'd probably recognize him. He does like improvised electronic music, and then he'll do like these crazy soul vocals over top of them. And he's hilarious, but he's doing like a drive-in concert tour, I think in June, and I think he's doing like 5 dates across America. But
he's doing an actual tour.
He's doing a tour of them, yeah. But I mean, it's been coming up on people's feeds quite a bit. This whole concept of the drive-in concert with this whole quarantine. And I saw just the other day, I'm going to keep them nameless, not that, it's not an incriminating post or anything, but it finally made its way to London, where a friend of mine said who in London would be interested in attending or performing at a drive-in concert. And I was like, holy shit, it could happen here. Because, I mean, we've got the Mustang drive-in just outside of town.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think it's an interesting concept for sure. I mean, I've got things I like about it and things I don't, but I mean, what do you think about the whole concept of the drive-in concert? What do you think?
It's funny because I was initially not thinking about it in terms of like playing one, which is kind of weird because I feel like that's where my head should have went. I was thinking immediately like I don't think I would want to attend something like that.
Right.
But then like we were talking beforehand, and I was like, it might be interesting to play though. Like it'd be so weird.
It would be very weird.
I think if an opportunity came across in London, even like as like a one-off thing, I would definitely be into to doing it. I wouldn't want it to be like. I don't think I would want it to be a normal thing.
No.
I think that.
I'm on board with
that. But like,
that.
I just don't think attending it would be like something I'd be that interested in. I mean. Maybe depending what the lineup looked like or whatever, maybe. But I just feel like, I'm not a guy either that like watches the show through his phone, which is another hot topic in the live music industry thing. And like I was kind of almost like equating it to that, where it was like it makes me so angry when you're seeing somebody just film everything, And I don't think we've ever talked about it on the podcast, but we've talked about it just in general before. Of like get your video for the band. And post it on your story, and then watch the fucking show.
And then
like, why do you have to? And I was just thinking it in the same way of like it'd feel like I wonder if it'd feel similar to that, just like sitting in your car, and it's just like so loud, and you're like this is cool, but also like it'd be so weird.
Yeah. In the regards of watching and being a spectator, I don't think I would be interested in attending. A drive-in concert or like regularly attending. If there was one and it was like a good lineup, I'll go just to support, and keep things going. But I mean, there's a lot of questions that I have about them, like like say I was performing, which I mean like that's a whole other thing, but I mean say I was performing, are people encouraged to honk their horns while we're fucking playing? Or like, because that would fucking throw me right off, for sure. I would hate it.
Brutal.
Yeah, like what if someone hits the fucking horn? What if someone flashes their high beams at me? Man. There's so many things.
Dude, it'd be right after a guitar solo too. Like how somebody rips a guitar solo.
Yeah, people will
and
woo.
You just get that like Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine that?
Just fucking.
Because like, what's after a guitar solo almost every time is a quiet chorus, right? So you imagine just the fucking a guitar solo,
Blaring
ripping
car
guitar
horns.
solo, and then it comes down to like a quiet chorus, and it's just fucking.
There'd be that one asshole that like puts the fucking train horn on just for the concert
Oh
too.
yeah.
Oh my fucking
Oh
god.
yeah.
But I mean, also like, you know, the environmental part of it, you know, I mean, like, not that I'm exactly a tree hugger, but I mean, like, do we really want like people are probably gonna have to fire up their cars every now and again. Like, I mean, if you've been to a drive-in movie, like, you don't want to just
Yeah,
run
so
your
is
battery.
So is it set up like an actual drive-in movie theater, or is it?
It would have
I
to
was
be-
thinking maybe you just set up a PA and stuff.
It would,
and
I
you
think it
just-
would have to be at a drive-in theater to accommodate, right? Unless you like can convince someone with a farmer's field to have like fucking 500 cars roll into their field and tear up their field, you know. But I
Yeah,
mean, like
that's
this is the thing is like, I think it would be really cool. Like I would play one, you know, or I would attend one. But I mean, I don't think,
Yeah.
you know, making it a regular thing. Absolutely not interested. But I mean, like even going to a drive-in movie, like I mean, I remember I went to I've been to a bunch of drive-in movies, but last year I went with a girlfriend and it was just so
Nice.
disgustingly hot, you know, and like
Yeah.
I just you
Yeah.
know like that. Just thinking about that experience alone, like I don't even want to go to a drive-in movie again, let alone go to a concert. And like, what if I'm like into the band and I'm like moving and shit, and I start getting real hot in my car, you know? It just sounds uncomfortable. It sounds really, and I mean, like, you're gonna have to go and like be stone cold sober. Like, are people gonna show up and start getting hammered, and there's gonna be drunk driving
Yeah, it's
going
true,
on?
man.
Like, there's
Yeah.
just so many questions raised by it.
Now, a positive would be that you don't have to feel the obligation of buying the band's merch after the show.
Yeah, but then the band's not making any money.
I know.
You know?
It was a local musician joke that didn't
Yeah,
land.
exactly. You don't have. Can you imagine like the plugs too? Like, yeah, we've got some merch over at the concession stand. We can only have
At the
2 people at a
drive-thru.
time.
You just do a drive-through. You just set it up like a drive-through.
Yeah, T-shirt
So you have, like,
cannons
the
that are going to the
menu.
back 40.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
man.
That'd actually be pretty dope, though. Honestly.
But I mean,
Um,
yeah, the main thing I mostly wanted to bring it up as a conversation point for our listeners. So this will be our little clip, I guess, for Instagram. Do you think that drive-in concerts are a good idea? / would you attend? It's an interesting
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Would you attend? Would you perform at one? I know, pretty much almost everybody that listens is a performer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm definitely more interested in like playing one.
Me too.
It's if nothing else, dude, it's a story. Cause like I just feel like the excitement of it is just would just not really be there.
No.
It would more or less be like, yeah, we did that back in the day. We did one.
Aside from the fact that it would, I mean, just because of how it would work, it would have to be a bigger stage and it would look like more people. That might be kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just think that there's a lot of things that are iffy about it, you know? And I mean, I don't know. I'm very skeptical of it. I don't want to be, but I am. And I definitely wouldn't want to attend a bunch
It
of them.
almost feels like, we were talking content last week and kind of doing things just to do it. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it too. The music industry's in like a tough spot right now because it's not going to be obviously it's not first back to reopening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to be one of the last things in terms of the live show kind of space.
Right.
But it does seem like one of those things where it's like, well, let's just try something. Let's just do something.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know where the idea like originated from or whatever, but it almost just seems like one of those things where you're like, what about a drive-in show? And
Yeah.
people are like, I mean, yeah, I guess.
And that's why I don't want to be so skeptical of it and so shitty about it, because I know that people are trying, and there's a lot of people that are like straight up out of the job, where like music is their job.
for sure.
And I don't
And
want
that's what
to
I'm saying.
deprive
I'm
them.
I'm sympathetic in that sense for sure.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's,
interesting question.
It's tough because like, what's the answer? You know, what do we? Not everybody can do a podcast or like a a live stream, you know. People are over the live stream, so they're like, what can we do now that's not a live stream?
I sure as hell am over the live streams.
We can do.
I haven't done them. I haven't done them for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
I think I think they're dying off a little bit.
I think so too.
Less, yeah. Well, and then now it's weird because stuff's kind of reopening, but like you still can't really go back to normal.
Mm-hmm. But music's gonna be the last thing,
so.
Or like live events are gonna be the last thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because like if you think about it too, man, like I think like sports are starting up soon.
Really?
But like you can't. Yeah, but the thing is it's like empty arena games and stuff. Yeah, so and that's like the little I know. I'm not looking into that. It's like hearing it off like from the radio and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I know like the WWE's been doing it this whole time. Has been doing shows to empty arena, like in an empty arena or whatever. So I could see like that's a possibility, you know, so long as I guess people are being safe.
I was wondering what
play
if
basketball.
ESPN has anything that they've even been airing the other day. Like, have they just been putting reruns up of like fucking?
I think people are making the effort to make content. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports guy, so
neither am
that's
I.
my
I don't even have
knowledge
cable, so I don't know.
Yeah. My knowledge is limited, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I heard that like they were saying like football is going to be able to start at like a regular time. Well, I think football starts like in the fall or whatever anyway. But
yeah, I never know. I never know when things start or when things end. I'm like, holy fuck, Stanley Cup playoffs are happening right now? That's wild.
Yeah. It's always the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. I think they're doing like or maybe they were talking about just maybe doing it like the playoffs for the Stanley Cup. It's going to be like a 24 team like playoff kind of thing.
Oh, holy fuck.
So basically like all teams but like 7 or whatever are in the playoffs, and then it's kind of like a round robin or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody that's a sports fan that's like pulling their hair right now, I'm very sorry. But
yeah.
That's what the radio told me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm regurgitating.
I hope that we're
right
aggravating you ESPN fiends.
Hopefully. That's not what they're doing.
I don't even watch ESPN.
They just said maybe.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just ready for it to be I just want stuff to be open and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny, man, like I feel for my parents cuz you know, they're in like a small town where like really like none of this is happening there and in that like whole area, but the rules still apply.
Right.
And the restrictions still apply.
So they've just got nothing to do.
It's very frustrating, you know, especially for my mom. Like my dad is still working, but it's like it's very frustrating because it's like it's not there, you know, and it's not, and everybody's staying home and doing their part, but it's like
but nobody's sick.
Like,
yeah.
Like when can I go back to my life, you know?
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It's
and both my parents they're in London, but they're both retirees, so they just got fucking nothing to do. And my dad was
like,
super
I don't
stoked.
need to go back to work, but I can't go out.
Yeah, exactly. And my dad was super stoked when the golf courses reopened. Like I messaged him, I was like, "Hey, I saw golf courses could reopen like on Saturday," and he was like, "Yep, I've got an 8 a.m. tea time." I'm like, "Holy fuck."
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, I'm there right now."
Way fucking ahead of you, kid. But yeah, I'm glad he's got something to do. My mom, I guess, has been cooking a ton and gardening a ton, so I'm glad she's staying busy. Very adorable little hobbies that she's got. But she's also a teacher. I mean, she's technically a retiree because I mean this is her last year. She's a teacher, but she's very disappointed that she heard schools aren't letting back in until September. So she's pretty much done now. So
that sucks. It just kind of like fizzled out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not stoked. She like I was talking to her on the phone. She was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sad. I'm not gonna get to see my kids again this year." And I was just like, "Your fucking kids? I'm your fucking kids. What the hell?
I'm there every Sunday.
Yeah,
Mom.
I show up
hell?
every Sunday. Well, actually, I wasn't there last Sunday, so maybe I should be a little more on top of it. But yeah, she's pretty disappointed. I feel bad for her. Poor Ann.
That's hilarious. Yeah, man.
Um,
Anyway, You want to talk about this other thing?
Yeah, you kick it off, buddy.
Okay, so very popular news this week that Joe Rogan signed a licensing deal with Spotify.
Gasp.
And initially, I didn't really care. I was like, cool, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't really affect my life at all. Like I listen to Joe Rogan, but like I also have a Spotify account, so like it doesn't change anything.
Right.
I rarely watch like I don't. The only time I think I've ever watched a full YouTube like video episode was when Josh Homme was on.
Yeah,
And,
of course you did.
But other than that, like I don't really watch. I'll maybe watch the clips, which apparently are still on YouTube. But I think it's very interesting because because Spotify did it, which clearly Spotify is just trying to become like the audio streaming platform, which is great, good for them. But what becomes interesting is like, oh, if they're gonna start doing this with other media, especially podcasts, which is a field that's only growing. What is it a thing maybe in the future, a few years down the road, where streaming platforms start going, okay, and they start paying artists for exclusivity for their rights? Because right now, for anybody that doesn't know, you basically just upload your music through a distributor, and then the distributor sends it to all the places, and that's basically how it works. And but it's and then all of the places pay you 0.000 cents on every stream or whatever, which is its own controversy. But it's interesting that maybe there could be a future where, you know, Spotify's paying Drake, you know, X amount of money just for Drake's catalog, or you know, kind of like how labels work, where it's like, you know, we're going to do like 3 albums with you or whatever. And it's interesting how that space could kind of expand. Okay, Craig ruined the whole flow of everything because he forgot he ordered sushi.
I sort of did. I forgot that I ordered sushi moments before we started this podcast. But yes,
okay.
It does raise an interesting point about whether or not are we going to see, like we were talking about this just before we started, like say Ed Sheeran gets an exclusive album deal with Spotify, you know, like are we going to start seeing, you know, hey, here's the new AC/DC album is exclusive on Apple Music, you know, and how's that going to affect?
And it's already been uploaded to your phone.
Right. Yeah, I was going to make that joke where it's going to be kind of like the U2 thing where all of a sudden it's going to, you know, we're going to start having
I forgot
things.
about that until right now.
Yeah, I thought as soon as we started talking about it before we recorded, I was going to mention the U2 thing. But yeah, I mean, it definitely raises an interesting point, and like whether or not this is good for musicians or podcasters. I mean, clearly it's good for Joe Rogan if he's making an estimated $100 million off the deal.
Yeah, it's only going to be good for like for podcasters. It's going to be good because it's going to trickle down to other shows. Yeah, the question is, does it then switch over to being a good thing for Spotify, or for artists?
For artists,
because like then it's like, all right, well then, how important are labels then? Because if Spotify comes to you and goes like, because the interesting thing is like logistics of that, right? So like, do they still pay you back end the same kind of like shitty payout for streams, but they fronted you, you know, $100 million for your whole catalog kind of thing, you know what I mean? And that's an interesting thing, because the other thing is like, oh, if they can pay, how come they can pay Joe Rogan fucking you know, $100 million, but they can't pay their artists anything? Which I'm sure there's lots of different reasons for that. But it's definitely interesting. I think it's a really interesting idea, because it's like, I mean, the funny thing is, it's like, you know, then does like Google Play, you know, come into effect and be like, well,
right,
you know, we want to give fucking Katy Perry this much money for this.
Yeah, I guarantee we're going to see that. We'll see it. You'll see Billie Eilish will sign some exclusive deal.
Play.
You know, yeah. I feel like, you know, Apple Music will be the next one. They're going to say, hey, we got Drake, and Drake's new album's going to be only on our platform or whatever. Yeah. You know? Totally. Which will be pretty wild. Yeah. I think it's going to be more interesting, because, I mean, it's funny to say as a podcaster, because, I mean, you brought me into this world. Very barely a podcaster. But being in the podcast world and seeing, hey, Joe Rogan signed an exclusive deal with Spotify and he's making a shitload of money off of it. That's wild news, you know. But then I think I mentioned it to Jazzy, my coworker, and he was just like, okay, you know, whatever. And it's like, I mean, people that don't listen to podcasts, it's like, okay, like whatever. But I mean, if you were to hear, hey, Drake has signed an exclusive deal and you're only going to be able to get his album from Apple Music, that's fucking crazy, you know, because I mean, usually it's, you know, it's a street war of whether you've got Spotify or Apple Music. So, you know, there's going to be like fucking 2 billion people that have to get another app or pay $10. So like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever are going to make $1 bajillion.
Well, what I didn't actually even realize too, which it totally makes sense, is that so if you have like an iPhone or whatever, to download Spotify, you have to go through the App Store, right?
Right.
So apparently, like anything that you download through the App Store, like Apple gets a cut of that or whatever, right? So like I guess that, so like on one hand, you know, for Apple to be like, oh fuck, like Spotify, because like Spotify's stock went through the roof after that, right? And but like Apple's still kind of reaping some of the benefit of, you know, just, I mean, think about how many people are just like, I guess I'm going to download Spotify then. And you don't even, like, you don't have to pay for Spotify, right? I mean, you're riddled with ads if you don't, but you don't have to. You could still, you know, enjoy the podcast or whatever without paying for it. But I guess like Apple still kind of gets a back end of that. I don't know what the figures are, obviously, but yeah, it's interesting, man. And apparently like Spotify's bringing in like a video portion. I mean, they already kind of have that, like with some bands, like if you click on their song, there's like some sort of video kind of playing in the background. But then that's interesting too, because like I think like the main thing here is like YouTube over the past few years has just notoriously become like just shitty for censorship. Okay,
we're riddled with errors here on this one, but that's okay.
Riddled with issues. Yeah. So anyway, YouTube is just, you know, the whole issue with like censorship and stuff, I guess. Whereas Spotify can create this space where they have audio and then a video element. I mean, then you're looking at, okay, if you want to keep using like Ed Sheeran as a example, it's like now not only Ed Sheeran is your catalog exclusive to Spotify, like your music videos are exclusive to Spotify. So now any music videos that you do are like only going to be on this platform,
right,
or whatever. Like that's super interesting, you know, where you know, if they can create this just one stop for you to get pretty much everything audio related, you know, and now if they have video, like that's super interesting. Which
YouTube has been for years, right? I mean, like fucking everyone's music. Like you were saying, you've got a friend that refuses to get Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, right? Yeah. And I mean, if you can't find something on Spotify, I mean, for I'm pretty sure years, Joan Jett's music was not on Spotify, which drove me fucking crazy. But I mean, I would go out of my way to go on YouTube and look up that fucking album, you know? So I mean, Spotify is kind of, you know, they're waging war against the fucking titan of YouTube, which is crazy. Yeah. And
well, that's the thing with YouTube is like there's no other, like there's other ones, but realistically there's no other platform that like that is similar to that, right, that's used as much. And I think that's a problem, because I think that's why they become so tight and stringent on their rules and shit, because there's nobody that's forcing their hand at anything. We're like, I think that this move is the start for Spotify, is the start where like all these other companies are going to be like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
like,
the media revolution.
And like and having somebody like Rogan at the start of it, like that's a big one, because then it's like, oh shit. Like if they got, you know, like that's a big loss for YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's a huge draft
Just
pick.
the fact that he's
massive draft pick.
Huge. Yeah. And you know, there's only going to be other podcasts that follow the same path, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, yeah, there's I listen to very niche, not really niche, but I mean, I listen to like comedy podcasts, and I'll listen to Joe Rogan because he gets the musicians and he gets the comedians. So I mean, the next biggest one that I could possibly think of is like fucking like what's another big podcast? I'm thinking like Chris D'Elia and like Theo Vaughn, and I don't think they're probably not pulling huge numbers, like huge numbers.
I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to think what I listen to. Like, yeah, I don't know what people's numbers is the thing. I'm pretty sure Mark Maron has like one of the top podcasts.
He started really early.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like all the like those guys have been around forever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like the Fighter and the Kid have big numbers. I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to them a lot. Depends who the guest is, but I'm not.
Yeah,
like
I watch them when they've got Chris D'Elia on. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. I think the thing with like podcasting too is I think as soon as you start getting like even like a modest amount of listeners, you can start bringing in some money doing it. So
right.
I don't know like kind of necessarily how that all works, but yeah, it's super interesting. It's super interesting.
And I mean, what's wild from my point of view, and I mean, I'm sure for you, where, you know, we couldn't even fathom the idea of saying, yeah, we've got an album out, but you can only get it from one outlet. You know, it's like, it's like that just slims your market. It just slims your market so hard.
Could you imagine? That's so funny. Even though, like, well,
like Bandcamp,
it's funny too, because like
has a big one. You know, that's where everyone sells their music, really, for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we put an album out, it's on Bandcamp, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Play, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I can't imagine seeing, you know, fucking, you know, Harmonies or Wine Lips or whatever, like whatever band that's like in our circles that's still doing well. You know, like they're still getting lots of hits and stuff, but they're like, yeah, you can only get our album on Apple Music. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's like, and you can't, it's like, not even like, what about the free, like, what about like SoundCloud? Like, no, it's only on Apple Music.
Right.
Like, all right, well, I guess I'm not
listening to it. Yeah, there's going to be a ton of people that won't do it. And like, especially the one, I mean, like SoundCloud or Bandcamp are a different thing where, you know, anyone can kind of get the app for free, and you can go on the internet and check it out. But I mean, like Spotify or Apple Music, you have to pay $10 a month for the fucking thing. I mean, yeah, you can listen to it, but you're gonna get fucking screwed with ads, or you look up an artist and you can't pick what song you're gonna listen to. You're just gonna listen to the artist or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, there's gonna be so many people where they're like, "Oh, I gotta download a thing on my phone. Fuck that." You know?
It's funny, yeah, and like that is like enough for a lot of people to be like, "Oh, I'm just not gonna listen then." Like whatever, and that's the other issue. Is there's so much content out there. Like, it's so easy to just not.
Oh, I can't get this one local band's album because they refuse to make it accessible to me. Whatever, I'll listen to someone else.
Yeah,
like that's
such a wild move. As a guy to be like, we have 45 monthly Spotify listeners, and you can only listen to it on Pandora.
Yeah, yeah. You know how ballsy.
Like, okay. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just kind of the flip side of the coin, where it's just not a fucking fathomable thing for grassroots artists, people that are still starting or trying to make a name for themselves. It's just
no. I mean, at this point, like I'm just trying to get enough listeners, just to have.
Right, to have a reason to keep making like fucking episodes.
Yeah, and then like I couldn't even imagine like having like one sponsor that
That'd be
wants to pay us
dope.
like $100 or something.
Yo, Subway.
It'd be crazy.
Come on.
Yeah, Subway, get at us. Subway. Fuck, there were some other ones. I'm forgetting some of the other things we've showed up. But,
Credit Karma. I definitely want Credit Karma.
Red Bull.
Yeah,
please.
we need some sugar-free Red Bull, dude.
Yeah.
I could go for some Maxwell House instant coffee. I fuck with that.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, you're an instant coffee drinker?
Dude, I don't give a fuck. I drink instant coffee.
Oh. Dude, no.
I do it out of sheer laziness.
I worked with a guy that was like, it's like the same thing. And I was like, it definitely tastes different.
Definitely not the same thing. Very,
it's
very
definitely
different.
Not the same thing.
But I like
Dude,
it.
I hate that.
It tastes like hot chocolate.
People
almost.
are like, yeah, okay, and like that's fine, but it's not the same thing.
No, it's
and
very different.
I hate when people are like, oh, that thing that's obviously like the worst version of the other thing. It's They're the same.
They're
if
lying
not
to you.
better.
They're
if
lying
not,
to
it's
you.
better.
They know.
It's like no, it's the worst version of
Yeah.
it. It's you know, it can still be decent, but it's like it's the worst version of it.
There are other
You know?
things that, you know, I will make that argument for, you know, like fucking like pedals and amps and shit like that, where it's like, you know, it's the same
Right.
fucking thing. Or, you know, I'll get fucking no name chicken nuggets. I don't give a fuck. Same thing. You know?
Yeah.
Or no name hot dogs.
Dude.
It's the same thing.
Dude, you know what though? I don't know where you even stand on this, so this will be interesting. So, even when I was like poorest of my poor, like pretty much the only thing I am like brand loyal to when it comes to groceries is Heinz Ketchup. It's like
Yeah.
the only thing I gotta have Heinz.
I
And
did get Heinz ketchup, but I might be able to persuade you here. French's is the Canadian brand.
dude, no, no.
Dude,
No.
gotta support those Canadian tomato farmers,
Dude.
bro.
Okay, so you're my Grandpa Glenn then. So you are my
shit,
grandpa.
I'm Glenn.
So
You gotta
so
support
you're
'em.
Glenn. Glenn with two N's. So it's not,
Glenn with
dude.
two
It
N's.
doesn't taste as good. I don't care where the tomatoes come from because Heinz tastes better. Now,
Put
here's
some
the thing: we were in
fucking
the
sugar
grocery
in it.
store
Who
today,
cares?
and Julia said, "Oh, we need ketchup," and I'm like, "All right, cool." And then she goes down to get the ketchup, and then I follow her, and she grabs like the store brand.
Yeah, I
ketchup,
won't get
and
no
was like,
name.
What are you doing?
I won't do
And then
that.
she goes, I'm just getting the ketchup. And
Getting
I was like,
fucking
get the
catsup, bro.
Heinz. And she's like, this one's way cheaper. And I was like, I don't care how cheaper it is. We're getting the Heinz. We're not eating that peasant ketchup.
Oh my god.
And that's yeah. I'm just kidding. It's not peasant ketchup. I just prefer Heinz.
By
and
the
I
way,
don't-
for anyone at home, they're in the same room right now.
Yeah, we
Which is
are.
amazing.
She's right behind me right now.
He's right behind you, smacking you in the head with the bottle of Heinz.
But I'm like, I gotta get the Heinz, dude. And I'm not eating French's, dude. You know what's
Dude,
okay,
French's
this
is
such
just
a-
fine. It's the
this
exact
is
same
such a
shit.
stupid story, but it's hilarious.
I'm ready.
So, for Christmas, one year, like sometimes like my grandma will do like a care package kind of deal or whatever. So like you'll get like a bunch of good gifts, and then they'll just be sort of like a gift of like food and shit. And then
Right.
like when you're in college, it's like it's that.
The best.
It's like we got you the good peanut butter and the good ketchup and everything.
Fuck
Okay,
yeah.
So I open this care package, and then there's a bottle of ketchup in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see that the bottle of ketchup is French's, but my grandma wouldn't have done that as a joke. So I'm like, is this a joke, or do I just have to poker face that it's French's?
Oh my
And
god.
so I don't know how to react. But then my grandpa is starting to laugh, and then my grandma sees that it's a bottle of French's, and she's like, what the hell? That's not what I bought you. And then my grandpa.
Oh my
My grandpa
God.
thought it was hilarious to like switch out these bottles and then like rewrap the gift. And it's such a dumb. That's the end of the story. But I
That's
got the real
hilarious.
ketchup, but
It's funny.
like,
So
it's
like,
such a
what's funny
dumb
about
thing.
it though is like, because you were so passionate about it at the beginning, and I'm like, maybe this is just a bit, you know. But then like
It's
it
both. It was both.
goes deep down into the family.
But
where
it's like it's a constant thing, and
Wow.
and every time he's like, yeah, but those are the Canadian tomatoes. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't
it
care.
is. I
The
literally
Heinz tastes
switched.
better.
I literally went out of my way to buy French's ketchup after that. After I read that, one article
Well-
that was probably a fucking clickhole article.
Yeah,
I
and
give
it's
a
not
fuck.
even true.
It's probably not even true. Yeah, I probably just switched. Like, I mean, realistically, like, what's the fucking difference?
It's like one of the few things that I will take a hard stance on that I like it better, man. I like Heinz better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, like, I'm trash. I'm a very trashy person. I like the shittier things a lot of times. You know, I like the fast food versions of food most of the time. Like, again, I'm not gonna shit on my favorite sushi place right now, but I get from like the fast food sushi place, which I'm
Right.
I'm eyeballing my sushi right now. But I mean, you know,
Hey.
if you look at my house, like, I don't even have fucking porch furniture. I've got car seats on my porch, man. Like,
Yeah.
fucking, I like
Well,
the
here's the-
trashy shit.
Sometimes, well, like Julie and I got Domino's last night, and like I don't like Domino's, but I'm
Domino's.
like, it's like drunk pizza.
I like it.
And but for some reason, sometimes I'm like, fuck it, just get Domino's. Like,
Give me the
and I'm
donuts
like,
and put it
it's
in
not
my
as
face.
good. There's so many better pizza places. Stobie's is literally just down the road from here. But sometimes it's like,
Shelby's?
fuck it, just get down. Yeah, Stobie's, yeah.
Oh, Stobie. I thought you said Shelby's. I was like, Shelby's is where you get fucking shawarma, son.
yeah, that's
not
shawarma. No,
pizza. Yeah, okay.
Stobie's,
All right.
the famous pizza place.
Yes, they are excellent. I discovered a Supreme pizza. I think it's Supreme. I've been getting pizza from
Supreme?
them every weekend. It's been
don't
fucking
know.
pretty good.
We
Nice.
used to always get from Superior Pizza.
Oh, that might have been it. That might be
Yeah,
it.
it might be Superior.
I get like a barbecue.
It's not bad.
A barbecue chicken pizza from there, and it's fucking
It's so cheesy though. It's
a
ridiculous.
lot of cheese. Definitely
Dude,
need to take a couple
Nick
Lactaids.
would order there. Nick would order there like twice a day.
What?
He ordered out. I'm exaggerating, but he would
That's a
order from
lot.
Superior like a lot.
That'd be a
lot.
lot of pizza.
And we'd be like, yeah, like I'm like I like it. They definitely go a little too heavy on the cheese. And he's like, oh, what do you mean? Like I always get extra cheese. like what? What?
That
dude?
is
How are you
fucking
like?
crazy.
How are you way skinnier than me? It's so frustrating. Dude,
yeah.
but he ordered there so much that one time I ordered from there and I went to the door and then the guy goes, like how's Nick doing? And I was
Oh
like,
my
what?
God. They were worried
He's
about
like,
him.
how's Nick? Where's Nick? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, he might be working. And then he's like, oh, up at Canadian Tire. And I was like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
sure,
they know
dude.
where he
like
works.
what? And then the guy leaves and I was like, hey, like what the fuck? And then because Nick wasn't home, but like the other people were home.
Yeah.
And we had a good laugh at Nick's expense. And then when Nick came home, we were like, hey man, why does the pizza guy know fucking everything about you? Like, how does this come up? Why does he know where you work? like,
That's amazing.
Come on. Hilarious. Yeah, he ordered there all the time.
I think that's
Yeah,
where
it's
I
all
ordered from. If it's not Supreme, it's Superior. It's got to be Superior. It's got to be.
It's probably Superior. I've
But they
never
made a
heard of
mean-
Supreme
They made
Pizza,
a
but
mean barbecue chicken pizza. I gotta say.
I don't do barbecue chicken.
All right. Well, I'm hungry now, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we ended the point a while ago.
Yeah.
We stopped and started about 3 different times.
Yeah. Well,
So,
thanks
you
for
know, that
bearing
should-
with us, everybody.
That should be fun.
Fun time
we'll
to
edit
edit.
around it. They won't even know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, yeah, go listen to or go watch the waitlist video. But more importantly, just fucking listen to the song and all the other songs we have. Let's get those Spotify numbers up.
Hell yeah.
And if you don't listen to us on Spotify, delete whatever app you use and then download Spotify and listen
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Because
Because we just signed. Lost Arts just signed an exclusive deal.
We just because we should jam sometime. Heart Attack Kids and Lost Arts all
Yeah.
just signed licensing deals to Spotify.
100%.
And yeah, they paid us an outrageous amount of money for the numbers that we put up.
Yeah, we made like $17, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. Over the course of 3 years.
Yeah. We making
Yeah.
that bank. I actually just spent all of it, all the royalties on my sushi just now.
Yeah, fuck, man. Oh well, we'll get them next year.
We'll
All
get it
right,
next
cool.
year.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.
Later, guys.